Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a good old-fashioned swatch and sip. We are going to just swatch all the Mothership palettes for the Pat McGrath sale that's going on right now. I thought it would be helpful if we just swatch the palettes if you're shopping a specific palette. I will leave timestamps down below and I'll share more information on the sale. So let's get into it. Okay, so thank you so much for clicking on my video. As I said in the intro, there is a big Pat McGrath Black Friday sale going on now. Yes, now. 10 days before Black Friday, but a lot of these brands, they're coming out with Black Friday sales extremely early. In my experience, this is one of the biggest sales that Pat McGrath has ever done. She usually does her sales on tiers. Depending on how much you spend, you get a larger discount. So for example, for this year's sale, if you spend a minimum of $50 or more, you're gonna get an automatic 30% off. 30% is, I believe, the largest discount I had ever seen in years past, but that's the first level. You spend $50 or more, you're gonna get 30% off your entire purchase. If you spend $150 or more, you're gonna get 35% off your entire purchase. And if you spend $250 or more, which with Pat McGrath is easy to do, you're gonna get 40% off, you guys. That is nuts. I can't even believe it. I went on there just to play with my cart because I wanted to add some stuff. I needed a new concealer, a new under eye powder, and I wanted to try some of those colored mascaras. I added a palette like the new the Mega Motherships that she does, the holiday she released earlier. Everything applies, like discount on everything. It does say that there's some exclusions that apply, but I added some eyeshadow, I added some face products and eye products, and everything was discounted. So, I mean, it is just nuts. It's a great sale. Today, I'm gonna swatch all of the Motherships, go through that. I will provide timestamps down below so that if you're just missing one or two Motherships, you don't have to watch the whole video unless you want to, you know? We can just chill and sit and drink a little bit. But if you are looking for a specific palette, I'll leave the timestamps down below and you can go straight to that palette. So get your drink, girl, get your snacks. Let me know what you're sipping on down below in the comment section. Hit like on this video. It helps my video quite a bit. And if you haven't yet subscribed, definitely do that. I love indie makeup, luxury makeup, drugstore makeup, just in general makeup. We have a really fun community here and I would love to have you back. So let's get into it. All right, let's start at the beginning. We are going to start with Mothership I. These palettes, they are permanent in Pat McGrath's collection. They retail for $128, which has gone up $3 since the whole inflation and everything kind of got going. But they went up from $125 to $128. They always feature 10 shades and they're just gorgeous, you guys. And one thing that people love is the art that comes with each palette. So I will show you the art on each palette. This one is Mothership I. They all come in this really beautiful packaging. I still have my plastic on there. I don't want to ruin the packaging. And this is Mothership I. You can see my lights there. There we go. Absolutely stunning. I'm gonna do very little cuts. I'm just like old school, just swatch and talk and get into it. So I will tell you that the mattes, when I discovered Pat McGrath mattes, there are the first 3 shades. I will go top row and then bottom row. So when I discovered Pat McGrath mattes, I just could not believe how beautiful and creamy these mattes were. And it was like a whole nother level for me because I was just getting into makeup. I think that right around the time that I tried Natasha Denona for the first time is when I tried Pat McGrath for the first time. And I just could not believe how beautiful these mattes were. Let me bring you in a little closer. There we go. You can see the tone a little bit better there. My whole little tagline was always like, you grab a Pat McGrath palette with some Sonia G brushes and you just sit back and you let them do all the work, honey, because you almost don't even have to blend. They are so beautiful. Look at that. Ooh, I forgot how beautiful this shade was. Okay, you might have to stay out so I can use you tomorrow. That is gorgeous. There are the next 3 shades. And Usually what we get is we're going to get like 4 to 5 mattes in the palette. We'll get some metallic sheen or shimmers in there that are just gorgeous. Her shimmers do blend like mattes, by the way. And then usually the last 4 shades, so the 2 shades on the end of both rows are more of her astral shades or special shimmer shades. If she's got a special color like this blue, it's going to be in the end there. There's the last shade. This is a special shade as well. And that is what Mothership I looks like. Oh, I want to pull her out just for this shimmer, you guys. It's so gorgeous. Kind of looks like the shimmer that is in Mothership X. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous. This is Mothership I. Okay, moving on to Mothership II. This is Mothership II Sublime. The first one was Mothership I Subliminal. This is Sublime, and look at this artwork. Oh my God, absolutely stunning. This is all carton. Sometimes, you know, this gets a little messed up. You'll see with other motherships, but it always comes with a little loop there and tie around to secure the palette. But how gorgeous. Ugh, I love it. So in Subliminal, you know, the standout shade was the blue. Here, the standout shade is going to be the green, and that's what the palette looks like. Absolutely gorgeous. So we did see a really dark brown matte in Subliminal. This one looks like it has a black. This is probably one of my least used motherships. Not really sure why. It's just meh, in my opinion. But once I started collecting them, I wanted them all. This third shade is actually one of my favorites. Just very pretty and soft. This taupey brown here. Really, really nice. But for whatever reason, I just haven't used it as much. The next two are astral shades. I mean, come on, you guys. Look at that. Here's the first row. Absolutely stunning. That shimmery pink is so beautiful. And it's got kind of a duochrome flip to it. It's just gorgeous. So I just wanted to make note of these. These two are mattes. Do you see how creamy they look? And look at that intense black. Extreme black is what she calls it. But then this one is kind of like a sheen. It's a satin shade with a beautiful sheen, which on my older maturing lids is very flattering because I have texture on my lids. And so that's another thing about her formula is it looks really good on maturing eyelids, which I have. I mean, it is what it is, right? I'm gonna get there. I'm 41 or 40 plus as I like to say it, but yeah. So next are the last two on that row, which are the special shades. Look at how gorgeous. I'm a lover of green eyeshadow, which just really surprises me that I don't use this enough. Like, it is so gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and here I am not using it. Look at that. The last one, as you can see, is more of a topper shade or a celestial shade. Really, really pretty, but look at that green. That green alone, or even over the black or brown base, would just be incredible. Ugh. Now I want to keep this one out too. So pretty. This is Mothership II Sublime. Such gorgeous, gorgeous shades. And like, even though you're going to see a theme, there's a lot of browns and neutrals in her palettes, and every palette. Look at that brown. Look at the tone. It's just gorgeous. Mothership III Subversive. Oh my God, this is so pretty. I'm telling you, like, the art just gets better and better. I promise. Stay tuned. This is the one that everybody went crazy over because it has that really amazing shade, Gigabyte. And I mean, the hype is real on that one. It's this really pretty chartreusey green there. It's just gorgeous. This one I've used more, if you can see, like, usually gets dirty around the pan when I'm swirling in there. But, okay. So I wanted to just point out, you're starting to see a trend. So in both of the first palettes, we saw this where the very first shade is like this light champagne-y shimmer or satin formula. That's the one thing that you'll see in a lot of the motherships is it's going to have that champagne-y shade. It's going to have a lot of neutrals. Like almost every palette, I'm pretty sure almost every palette has a neutral brown, and it starts to get like redundant, but I mean, for the collector, you're going to collect them anyway because you want them. But for somebody that is only looking at a couple of different color stories, it really is convenient to have those neutral shades or neutral tones in there. So I get that. That's what I will say there. So we have Gigabyte. This is a very viral Pat McGrath color. And then we have the shade VR Pink, which is amazing. This one is so pretty, Gigabyte. And well, I mean, both of them, VR Pink and Gigabyte are incredible. Also a little flip to that VR Pink. I have done like the brown, which has somewhat of a red undertone to this brown, and the Gigabyte, and that's it. And it looks so beautiful, you guys. I love, love, love that shade. I mean, for good reason. It's a very unique green. The shimmers blend like mattes. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And then we're going into the second row here, and we have another matte black, and we have another brown. This is a satiny shimmer formula. I love her browns in this formula here, the middle finger there. It is so good. And if you want something that's not flat brown for your look, it's a really good one to use. It's really, really pretty. And then we have like a slate or a pewter color there. It has a little bit of a flip, as you can see, like a red purple flip, but it's just gorgeous. That black didn't swatch well because my fingers were a little wet from the wipe. I was trying to remove the shades, but yeah, this one I think doesn't get as much hype, and it is so amazing. The shade, this shade is black metal, and I mean literally that's what it looks like. It's so pretty. And then the last two shades are the special shades. Look at how pretty that is. Now you may say these special shades look crumbly. It looks like there would be fallout everywhere. Yes, sometimes there is fallout, and so at the end, just stick around because I'll show you some options to make sure that there's no fallout. Look at how gorgeous that is. This purple one, I mean, it looks like an indie shade. It's just gorgeous, and that's a Blitz Amethyst right here. And then that is Astral Ghost Orchid. You do an entire matte look, and then you take the very last shade here that looks like nothing, but you just kind of tap it over your eye look, and it turns instantly any matte look into a wet looking lid. It is just so beautiful. So just because it looks like it's a white color and just very insignificant, do not be mistaken. It is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous over a neutral look. You just pop that on top and look at how it glistens. Ooh, so beautiful. Okay, that's enough swatching. Let's just sit for a minute. Mothership IV Decadence. You see my smile. I have like a sweet spot in my heart for this one. It is so gorgeous. This is a Decadence. Look at that, you guys. I will admit that when I was getting ready to buy it, I thought that this was like a textured packaging, and I was so excited, but it's not. It's just carton. And then this one doesn't have this tie for the palette. It actually just opens this way, which, whatever, I don't care. I like the tie, but anyway. Looks the same as every other palette. This palette was released, like there was like a Star Wars special edition packaging where it was gold with Star Wars imaging on there, but I didn't even know Pat McGrath was a thing when that was released. Now the special thing about this palette is that this is an all shimmer palette. Okay, and that scared me because I was like, what do you mean an all shimmer palette? How am I going to pair it? Or if I'm traveling with this palette, how do I work these shadows if I don't have mattes? And so what I learned is, again, her shimmer satin formula blends like mattes, When you're done with your look, it is a little more glistening and it shines a little bit more than a matte look, obviously, but the blend is seamless. And when you're done with your look, you don't even need a matte, you guys. Like, literally, you don't even need a matte. Look at how pretty that is. So let's start swatching. Every tone in here is just absolutely gorgeous. Every time I swatch it, every time I open it, every time I do something with this palette, I'm just reminded of how hard I fell in love with Pat McGrath, and with good reason. I mean, this palette, in my opinion, is just different because, again, it's all shimmers and it's just special to me. One of my favorite shades is going to be this last one that I swatched. That one's the shade Sinful. It's just such a pretty, it's gold, but it's taupey undertones. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous. I love that shade. And again, to my point about how it swatches like mattes, like look at how beautiful and smooth those swatches are. I love it. Because technically these are all shimmers, there is no special shades in this palette, but honestly, I don't know, you don't need it. I mean, they shine, they glisten all on their own. That's the next 4 shades there. Just beautiful. And then the last 2 shades, this one's also so pretty. It's like a pewter, or yeah, like a pewter shade. It's so pretty. And then this one, it swatches red in the pan and it kind of looks red there, but as you flip, do you see that orange flip to it? And see if I can see it. So when I look at it from this angle, it looks like a bright fire orange, but then when I look at it this way, it's red, but you can see the flip there. So this palette is just unique. So beautiful. Oh, I love, love, love. This is such a special palette. Mothership V, and one that's also known for a very standout color in this palette. And this is what the artwork looks like. Again, just a stunner. Absolutely beautiful. But look at my box. That's the one thing, like when you open a Mothership, it feels luxe. The packaging is weighty and it's black. It's like this, you know, acrylic black, and it looks really, really luxe. You know, this is the front, this is the back. I love it. But the boxes, I wish that they were just a little bit of a more durable material, because it's really sad to see your, especially because the artwork is so beautiful, to see them like that. Now, this is a very used palette from me, if you can't tell from how messy it is. But although you do have the brown mattes, there's this one here that's more of a, it's got a purple undertone and it's gorgeous. But again, you have the same champagne-y color there at the front. And, you know, what you'll see about the palettes, first of all, Pat McGrath, and I have a whole video on the history of Pat McGrath. If you haven't watched that, I did it last year for her birthday. Go watch it. It's so good because she's a makeup artist. She's actually a dame, named by the Queen for her contributions to the beauty and makeup industry. And she's just got an amazing story. But the thing about her, and why sometimes we're like, again? A champagne color again? She is putting palettes together that would work very well on the runway. And, you know, with runway looks, yes, there's going to be some very colorful eye looks, but a lot of them are going to be focused. They're going to be more toned down or neutral because of the fashion that's being exhibited. But yeah, look at how beautiful the undertone of that brown is, though. She understands that she has to have these neutral tones in every palette, but she brings something special in those undertones in every single palette. I'll tell you, this brown, I'm sure you can tell, but it swatches like butter. Okay, like butter. It is so gorgeous. The formula is perfection. And so it's almost like, ugh, you can't be mad at it. Here are 2 of the special shades at the end of the palette there. I forgot how beautiful this one is. The one next to the gold. Ugh. Both of them. All of them. I have a really deep love for indie, but then I go back and I'm reminded when I swatch my Pat McGrath palettes that, first of all, you don't need a crazy shimmer in every shade. And if Pat McGrath has given it to us with these amazing mattes, You almost don't need to go indie. I don't know. It's one of those things where, you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm just saying. Most people don't wear, you know, blue duochromes to work every day. We wear most of these colors, right? So, look at how gorgeous that is. That's such a beautiful fall palette. Such a beautiful palette. Here's the red, the standout shade in the palette. Look at that. It's like a fire engine red with a twist. So gorgeous. And then we have the last shade, which is a special shade. They're a little crumbly. Sometimes there's fallout. Do your eye makeup first, but I'm going to show you how we fix that. Oh, man. Do you see? It's such an angelic special shade. There's like lavender, blue, gold. Do you see that? I'm talking about the last shade. And because of the formula, it's also that shade that looks wet on the lid. Not a lot of opacity, but you're going to top your look with it and it's going to look just ready, wet, shimmery. If I didn't say this, the one that we just watched is Mothership V, Bronze Seduction. Next, we're going to swatch my favorite Pat McGrath palette, which is Mothership VI. This one is Midnight Sun, and I mean, let's just start with the packaging. How about we just start there? Oh, my goodness. This is so gorgeous. So freaking gorgeous. There's no other word for it. It is my favorite palette. I do have a 3 looks, 1 palette with this one, so I'll link it down below. I just die when I look at this palette. It's so pretty. Okay. So there are the shades. Look at that. Oh, perfection. This is, if you couldn't tell by how messy it is, also one of my most used palettes. It is just gorgeous. It's gorgeous for fall. It was in my top fall palettes because of the color story. And I mean, so delicious. I can't. It's so good. This is like what I would call like a Cinnabar. You know, Lisa Eldridge Cinnabar? That's a Cinnabar shade right there. That is absolutely stunning. That's a matte. And then we've got the shimmer formula here, the second one that blends like a matte, just like Decadence. Absolutely gorgeous. Then we have 2 special shades on the end here. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I might have to do like a couple weeks of just Pat McGrath here because this is stunning. And swatching it, it's like, oh, you're reminded once again why you fell in love. Oh my God, so pretty. Now we're going to see 2 more matte browns here, but again, I appreciate Pat just paying attention to the undertones of these browns because that's what makes the difference. Because you may say like, a brown again, but they're different undertones. Some are cool, some are warm, but gorgeous. So look at those. It looks almost black, the chocolate brown, but it's got a grayish undertone, but it's really, really beautiful, and it is a brown. The next one is one of my favorite shades that Pat McGrath does. This green one here. Oh, so gorgeous. Look at how earthy that is. These 3 shades on the end, that's a look right there. It's just beautiful. Then we have the special shade, the purple one, which is that shimmer formula. Look at how pretty that is. And then another astral shade that will give you that wet lid appearance. If you don't have this one, you guys, I'm just going to say If you like the color story, this one's the next one to get for you because it is just perfection. There is not one dud in this palette. Honestly, there's no duds in any of her Mothership palettes, but this is my top recommendation right here. Ooh, so perfect. We've got some warm tones here. We've got cool tones in the middle there with the browns. We've got the greens, some purple. I mean, this color story, perfection. Perfection. Top recommendation right here. The next one is Mothership VII Divine Rose. This is when I started to hear the buzz on YouTube about Pat McGrath. Not that Pat McGrath wasn't a thing yet, but it was when I had just started watching makeup YouTube. For a long time, I was just strictly watching YouTube for skincare recommendations. But this is when I started to hear about the hype. And so this is Divine Rose. In my opinion, an all-neutral basic palette, but probably one of the prettiest basic neutral palettes she has done. And this is what started the craze. I mean, for Pat McGrath fans, they've known that she's a thing, but this is what really kind of went out to the masses and started the hype. So these are the first three shades. Again, we have this champagne light color to start. This cool tone brown, which is just gorgeous. This champagne-y taupey color there. That's very cool tone, a little chalky, but not in a bad way. Like, it blends really beautifully. But I'm going to show you this because we got to keep it real on this channel, okay? Mother or not, look at how powdery that is. That's the second shade there. So there is going to be fallout. It is going to get messy. Do your eyes first, but the tones are just beautiful. The next two are special shimmers. They're not the astral shades, but they're just special shimmers. They swatch horrible, but they're really beautiful. Look at how pretty that is. This one's kind of a duochrome, if you can see that there. So pretty. And again, this is the perfect palette. Like, if you're shopping for somebody for Christmas and they're a neutral lover, this is the palette to get for them, Divine Rose. If they don't really go outside of their box very much, but you want to give them a really special beauty gift, this is going to be the palette to get them. It's got some shimmers in it, but it's not overwhelmingly shimmery. It's not hard to blend shimmers or shimmers that have fallout. It's the perfect shimmer formula for somebody that doesn't go outside of their neutral box too much. I mean, look at that. This shimmer in the middle of these three, really pretty with a little bit of a lilac twist. But again, not overwhelming or too out there to where it would make somebody that is accustomed to only neutral palettes to feel uncomfortable. It's a very wearable shimmer. And then we have a gold one that has a very pretty rose gold twist. And it looks gold in the pan, but look at that. I forgot how pretty it was. Oh my God, that just caught me off guard. That is gorgeous. And then the last one being the Astral Topper shade. Wow. What color is that? Oh, that's the VR Rose Venus. Rose Venus. I forgot about you, girl. We might have to leave you out too. That is stunning. Tell me a neutral lover would not absolutely die over this palette. I love it. Okay, I'm moving on, but I'm sorry, I can't get over this one. It's such a unique shade. I was just thinking, I was like, do I have something that looks like that with the indie stuff? I don't. That is the most unique, beautiful shade ever. I'll be honest, I don't pull this palette out very much because it's so neutral and basic, but I may have to. This is stunning. I forgot how pretty that was. Mothership VIII, Divine Rose II. And I'm smiling that way because, well, first of all, let's take a look at the artwork. Duh. I mean, come on. We cannot expect anything less moving forward, right? But this was the one that when I saw that VR Sextraterrestrial, I died. I did do a review on it, and by that point, I had no flipping clue what indie was. And I mean, can you see the ring around it? I've gone in on this one, okay? It is so gorgeous. I did not know what a duochrome was. Okay, call me ignorant, but I was the type that had one Tarte neutral palette that I would go through every single year. And, you know, my mother-in-law would gift me a new one every year for Christmas. I had no idea, but this was when I really was, after watching so many videos on YouTube, I was like, okay, I'm going to go in hard and invest in Pat McGrath, even though in my mind, I could not believe that I was going to pay $125 for a palette. But this is where I learned also about, like, make sure you're logged in at 7:59, because if not, these palettes are going to sell out within minutes. That's where I started to learn the tricks of the trade here, because it would sell out and you couldn't get it for months. Look at those. Absolute perfection. And I mean, after a while, I was just like so bored with her pinks. But at this point, when I got this palette, I didn't know anything about that. I just knew that I was in a different world. I could not believe that shadows like this existed. Yeah, this is where I started to get really excited about Pat McGrath. And it was one of those things where, like, okay, I get it. I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to have every single palette in her collection because it is special. So, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. This was such a good idea, even if this is just for me, because I haven't swatched or taken these palettes out in so long. You guys, come on. Seriously? I can't. I literally cannot. Like, I do not own another pink like this one. Do you understand how amazing this lady is? Okay. Brace yourselves now. We're going in for VR's Extraterrestrial. It never gets old. I'm telling you. I have to clean up my palettes, but it never freaking gets old. It never gets old. VR's Extraterrestrial. So if you're wondering, what is a duochrome? It's a shadow that's formulated in a way to shift different colors depending on which angle or light you're looking at this shade in. Okay, so I see green. Do you see green? Right? You see green. Now look. You see pink. You see green. You see green and pink. I mean, even Queen Elizabeth had to, like, give her props because she understood this lady is like no other in the luxury space. I mean, I can't. Why have I not used you in so long? Oh my God. Sorry, I'm just going to sit here and let you guys see this. Absolute perfection. Mothership IX, Huetopian Dream. And again, packaging. This one is actually a little raised, a little textured, but look at how beautiful. This is where we started to hear that people were getting annoyed about all the pink. Every teaser included pink. When I bought this palette, I was a little over pink, to be honest, because she had some other 6-pan palettes that were all pink. Everything she was releasing at this point was pink. She was totally riding the Divine Rose wave, which, of course, it makes sense. It was selling so well. So what I decided to do with this palette when I uploaded my video was do lid swatches, and people really appreciated that. They said that was really helpful. So I'll link that video down below if you're thinking about this mothership specifically. But this is what it looks like. These special shades are special, I'll tell you that. Really, really beautiful. So again, we started off with a champagne shimmer. You know, nothing new there. I mean, you got to give it to her. She's consistent. She is consistent across the board here. So we've got that white champagne shimmer. Then we start with our first neutral matte. We go into this sheeny satin shimmer that we've seen quite a bit of before as well. Really beautiful though, again. I think she recognizes not everybody will own all the motherships, so those are special shades that are the most used, to be honest, so that makes sense. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. That shade is freaking phenomenal. It's like a unicorn shade. It's like a cotton candy shade. I don't even know. Do you see what I'm saying? Look at that. Oh my God. It's like you look at shades like this and then it's like, everything's okay in the world. Everything is okay. I say that in a very light way, of course. I know that not everything's okay, but you know, for us makeup enthusiasts, this is something that does bring us joy. But all right, now we have another neutral matte there. And I will say that some don't swatch the best, but they all, absolutely all perform wonderful on the lid. So this was also a new shade to me, this like neon coral there. Really beautiful, very vibrant in person, but if you toned it down with this one, it worked so beautifully. I might do a look with that one just because it's glorious. But this unicorn shade, like, it just does it for me, you guys. How can it not? And then we have the last two, which this is a nice duochrome flip as well. It's got a bronzy green twist. This was the follow-up to the VR's Extraterrestrial. Really beautiful, beautiful shade. Didn't get the same hype. Like, I see green, so do you. But then you see that bronzy mauve tone flip there. It's a gorgeous. And then this last astral shade is also perfection. I mean, look at that. Looks wet. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so that brings us to Mothership IX. Now, you will say, Yadi, where's Mothership 10? I want you to swatch that one. I don't have that one. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've had to scale back quite a bit just because of the circumstances with my family. And I have it in my cart. I have it in my cart, and I don't know if I'll pull the trigger. I'm just gonna keep it real, you guys. Like, it's Black Friday. I'm probably gonna use some of my money to stock my kids up on beanies and socks and just stuff that I might find on sale for winter wear. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I don't have an unlimited budget. I did spend quite a bit on the Sephora sale and then the Lisa Eldridge sale, so I need to kind of chill on my makeup spending. That being said, I don't know, I may, because the concealer, like, I'm out of this concealer, you guys. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it. Like, it's all the way at the bottom, but I'm at the point where I can't scrape anything off of it anymore. So I'm out of my concealer. This is the Pat McGrath Under Eye Setting Powder in the shade Banana. I've hit pan on that, so I need another one at 40% off. Like, come on. And then what else do I have? I have Mothership 10 in my cart, and then I think I had two mascaras, the blue one and the black one, because I love it. The only reason I added the black one was because it's a $30 mascara, but because it kicked me into the next level of savings, the 40% off, it was only going to cost me like $8 more to add that mascara, so I added it. So I've got two mascaras. I've got the concealer, which this is one of my holy grail concealers. So good. Extremely full coverage, but it looks skin-like and flawless all day. Under eye setting powder, one of my holy grails. And Mothership 10. Because I'm not a collector, but I am with Pat McGrath. I mean, I'll just be honest. I'm not a collector of everything she does, but I am a collector of the Mothership. So I have to get 10 at some point. And it is just silly to not get it at 40% off. This is a sale discount that I've never seen before with her brand. But at the end of the day, you guys, like 40% off of a lot of money is still a lot of money, right? And I just feel like sometimes, especially on beauty YouTube, like, we talk about things and we're like, it's such a good deal. It's a must buy. You have to get it. It's so great. No, we don't. It's makeup. We don't need it, especially if we're makeup enthusiasts that have a lot. We don't need it. I want it. I really, really want it. But I'm just going to be honest. Like, if you don't see me haul a Pat McGrath sale on my channel, that's why. Because I have to choose where my money is going. And I may choose to spend my money on, like I said, just winter wear for the boys, other good things that are needed around the house that are at a deep discount. So we'll see if I can kind of fit that in and figure it out. They do offer things like Afterpay, I've seen. I don't know if they do anything else, but they have Afterpay on their website for sure. But yeah, I just wanted to keep it real. Now, let me know in the comments down below if you're picking anything up from the sale. I would say if you weren't planning on it, don't. Like, at the end of the day, you're not going to die without it, right? Like, you don't need it. But if you're in the market to shop, definitely let me know what you're getting. And then also, let me know if you want a part 2, because I only swatched the Motherships today, but I have quite a bit of the 6 pans. I have the quads that I can swatch for you if that's something you're looking at, as well as all the blushes and highlighters. So I would love to do a part 2 for you if you'd like me to swatch those. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please share it with a friend. We just hit a major milestone of 3,000 subscribers, but I'd love to continue to grow. And so share it with a friend that you think may not be subscribed. If you enjoy this kind of content, check out my other videos, see if it's your thing. Hit like on this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Oh, this look, it should be uploaded on my channel in the next week if I didn't already say that. Okay, bye!